talk about oils. Let's go this way. Oh, there's a patient. Hey, hi, how are you? Good to see you.
Yeah, you too. Nice to see you.
One of my patients. Let's just check in your car. What are you buying there? I see you.
Actually, for my son's school, I have the children making no-bill cookies, or cookies of some sort. So, since I usually have only 20 minutes to cook, do you think this would work?
Well, let's help you out with this, okay?
Okay, great.
So I caught her red-handed. I thought she came to a seminar already. So let's see what you got in the card here.
All right, sure.
So oatmeal cookies. All right. So we have corn syrup. All right. So tell you what, a couple of things you want to do, and I'm going to give you a better recipe for this.
Okay.
But this has partially hydrogenated oils. Now, hydrogenated oils are trans fats, which are very, very bad for your liver. So we want to stay away from anything that says hydrogenated or partially hydrogenated, because that would be artificial oils. So you'd want something that just has no artificial oils at all. And this has wheat flour with enriched vitamins. It has sugar. All we're trying to do is trying to find something that actually has real nutrition or foods. So we'll probably put this back over here.
Okay.
I don't know where you found this.
Over here?
Yeah, and
Yeah, so the recipe usually calls for some sort of vegetable oil, so is there an alternative to that would be a little bit healthier?
absolutely. So we have vegetable oil here. There's a much better oil. Let's take a look at the oils right over here. Look over here. Safflower oil is the best oil you need to get. So safflower is the best cooking for high heats. Now, olive oil is good, but not for heating unless it's low heating. So you want to have this just for your regular salads and low heat. But the main thing you want to cook with is safflower oil. So we're going to put some of this in here. I'm going to take this and put it back.
All right.
Okay?
So back to the cookies. What can I make as a good alternative to that?
Let's take a look.
Okay. Spaghetti dinner. Any suggestions?
So now we're talking about spaghetti sauce. One thing you have to make sure that doesn't have the corn syrup or the high fructose corn syrup. Corn syrup is the sugar, it creates insulin spike, and it's an artificial sugar. So we don't want to do corn syrup. So let's take a look and see if there's anything else that has something more natural. Let's go over here. Okay, the ragu has just sugar, which is actually better, but it's a step up, so there's different gradients. The goal is to find a sauce that has minimal sugar. So, let's see right here. Here we go. Oh, this is a good one. This one has Italian tomatoes, olive oil, onions, salt, garlic, pepper, and it has 3 grams of sugar.
Wow.
So I don't know if you can see the 3 grams of sugar right there. Can you see that? Okay. So if we take a look at ragu, this has 9 grams of sugar right here.
Excuse me.
Okay.
No, but that's not the
And
one I want.
this one has 10 grams of sugar right here. So basically, make sure the sauces have a least amount of sugar, and this would be the best right here.
Great. Yeah, that's very helpful. Thanks so much.
You're welcome.
All right.
We're here at the sugar department, so you want to see about sugars?
Yeah, that would be great.
So here's a couple things. Obviously, white sugar is totally refined. White sugar basically, I'll have you stand right here.
Okay.
White sugar basically it's refined cane sugar, which pulls out all of the potassium out of your body. The problem with sugar is that you lose your minerals. That's why you can have a little bit of something sweet and end up getting a lot of water retention in a very short period of time, because when you drop this potassium, you retain fluid. So let's take a look at all the sugars. Now we have brown sugar right here. Brown sugar is just a little bit of molasses in sugar, so it's less refined, so it's a step up. And then we have turbinado sugar. That has a little bit more molasses, a little bit better. So there's different gradients. There's different gradients of sweeteners, from terrible to okay to best.
Okay.
So sugar in the raw has even more vitamins than turbinado.
So for when I'm cooking things, and often I call for sugar and eggs, and you have to whip it, and that's pretty common in a recipe. Is that something that my kids would like the taste of?
You could do that. There's something a little bit better, and I would use what's called either Tupelo honey or agave nectar.
Okay.
Agave nectar is used by diabetics, and it's a lot better.
Okay.
What you don't want to do is use the aspartame, which is equal.
Okay.
So equal as aspartame, it turns into formaldehyde at 85 degrees, so it's not very good.
Don't want to put that in my recipe. How about Splenda? You hear so much about that. It's put in a lot of drinks now, even like some of the V8 fruit blends. Splenda's in there. How's that?
Yeah, Splenda is a sucralose. It's a sugar alcohol, and it's a water retainer. I'm not crazy about it, so I don't recommend this. And there's other sugar alcohols too, like mannitol, xylitol, sucralose, and those artificial. Those are kind of they're better than equal or sweet and low, but they're not as good. I mean, they're not as good as these other ones like agave nectar or Tupelo honey. So when you're doing a sweetener, avoid the artificial, and then this would be like the worst.
Okay.
These two, which would be saccharin and aspartame, and then we have this would be the next worst. And then you could have xylitol is the best out of all the sugar alcohols if you're going to do that. And then white sugar would be the next worst, which is the white sugar. And brown sugar is a little bit better. And this is a little bit better. And then as you go up, you have honey, and then Tupelo honey, and then agave nectar. And then the best sugar is the stevia, which is an herb, which is it's actually okay. You won't cause any side effects at all.
Okay, so you can bake with that and put it in as the substitute for when the recipes are calling for just sugar.
Right.
Okay.
The only problem with stevia, it's acquired taste, and kids sometimes don't like it, so you can use the agave nectar for that one.
Okay. Great. Good. That's a good alternative. Thanks.
Good. So I want to talk about flour, and there's a difference between white flour here, which actually has no nutrition, and whole wheat flour here. Whole wheat flour has a little bit more vitamins, but very, very few, because it's less refined, but it's still rancid, so the vitamins are lost during the milling or the grinding process. When you grind grain, you lose all the vitamins. And you say, well, I'm getting whole wheat, but it's been ground probably a year ago, so there's really no nutrition. So refined flours pull out B vitamins and potassium. Those are the two vitamins. So it ends up empty nutrition. It's going to cause you to crave more food. Like, you could probably eat whole wheat bread, right? And sourdough bread.
Right.
And anything with flour.
Yeah.
You can probably eat that all day long.
Right.
Because it's not very satisfying. People crave those things, but it's not very satisfying because there's no vitamins and minerals.
Wow.
And that's why they enrich it. They enrich it with synthetic vitamins. So it's a big difference between enriching. There's no really fortification or enriching that's actually good for you. So this will spike insulin, cause weight gain when you eat anything with flour or grains, especially of the refined nature. Now, if you want to grind your own grain in your spare time,
Oh, yeah, like I have any of that.
she gets home at 7 o'clock at
7
night.
o'clock.
She's going to get there, grind the grain, make the bread fresh. That's not going to happen.
No, absolutely not. I need about 20 minutes to get something on the table, so.
Got it. So this is obviously just about this much better than white flour, but not that much better. So we'll see if they have any sprouted grains in the store, and I'll show you some bread on that, okay?
That'd be great.
Good.
So, Dr. Berg, what should we use for salt? What are good salt, quality salt products?
Let me show you.
Okay.
First of all, you have different table salt. That's sodium chloride. It's 2 minerals. So I don't recommend table salt. If you're going to do salt, do a sea salt, which is right here. Sea salt has 84 minerals as compared to sodium chloride, which is 2 minerals.
Oh,
So if you're going to do salt, do sea salt, don't do, this will not increase blood pressure.
oh, that's good.
Now the problem with salt, and things that are salty, you want to make sure that you have the spices that don't have MSG, monosodium glutamate, because monosodium glutamate is a chemical that is a flavor enhancer.
Okay.
So it doesn't actually, it's not very salty, but it gives you a lot of sodium. The normal ratio of sodium in your diet should be a lot smaller than potassium. So in your body, you need foods high in potassium. When you eat foods high in sodium, they deplete potassium. So the ratio is always 4 times as much potassium to sodium. Most diets are heavy in the sodium and very low in potassium.
Yeah, I would agree.
Now let me ask you a question.
Sure.
Wouldn't it be smart to find those foods that are naturally in the good ratio of 4:1, 4 potassium, 1 sodium?
Absolutely.
So take a wild guess what foods normally have that ratio.
Bananas.
Close. Vegetables.
Vegetables. Oh, the one thing I don't eat enough of. Okay.
Exactly. We'll talk about that when we get to the vegetable section. Take a look at spike. Spike is actually good because it has onion, it has orange, it has celery, it has bell pepper. It's just really good spices. And they have different forms of spike. But
Alright. What about this one? This says 60% less sodium than salt.
this is 6% sodium. This is basically monosodium glutamate. Look at that. So, not good.
Okay, so basically just good marketing.
Yes.
Okay.
That's right. But find spices that don't have MSG. MSG is also hidden in another thing called modified food starch. There's a lot of other names for it, but modified food starch is the most common one. It's in the boxed foods, it's in the soups, it's in the dressings, it's in the canned goods, it's in a lot of foods as a flavor enhancer to make the foods taste better than it really is. So we're going to go through the store and show you those foods.
Great.
Okay, so now we're at the juices section, and one thing I want to show you is Gatorade. Okay? Gatorade has high fructose corn syrup. Again, high fructose corn syrup has no nutrition, and that's going to deplete potassium, it's going to burn out the pancreas, it's going to have high insulin, and it's just pure chemicals and sugar, so I don't recommend this as a hydrating substance. The problem with these other juices is they're pasteurized.
Okay.
So when things are pasteurized, you kill all the vitamins in the juice. You don't get any vitamin C from orange juice because orange juice is, you lose the vitamin C after it's ground down within about 10 minutes. So unless you have it fresh, you're not getting any vitamin C. That's why they add some ascorbic acid to it, which is so-called vitamin C, but there's no real natural vitamin C in it.
Well, what about V8 juice? I know that my children won't eat plain tomato or drink plain tomato juice, but they really do like the one that's flavored
Let's
with
take
the
a look.
fruit juices. So the tropical orange one as well as this one, and I know we were talking earlier about Splenda, it is flavored with that.
Yeah. Well, this is definitely better than soda.
That's good.
But the problem is this is serving of all vegetables, whole fruits. But the problem, it's all cooked, it's all heated, it's all pasteurized. So there's really no nutrition in here, unfortunately.
So but it says, full serving of vegetables.
It does. It is a full serving of cooked vegetables, destroyed vegetables.
Oh, okay. I see.
So let's look at the V8 regular
All right,
juice.
sure. So this one, 100% vegetable juice.
100% vegetable juice. And we have tomato, parsley. Sounds pretty good. The only problem is it's all cooked. So if you want to do your juices, juice them if you want to do juice, which I don't recommend anyway, but because it's high in sugar. But this has too many cooked vegetables, and you're not getting a lot of nutrition from this, other than some sodium. Sodium is pretty high.
So sodium makes you retain water.
Sodium makes you retain water.
Really no value.
No.
Okay.
No. But if you're getting cranberry juice, cranberry juice always comes with the extra juices like apple juice and grape juice. You want to get cranberry juice that just says cranberry and water, but it won't say Like unsweetened cranberry is just cranberry and water. Don't get cranberry with anything else.
Okay.
Okay, so we're going to talk about ketchup.
Okay.
Right?
Yeah.
So, first ingredient of ketchup is high fructose corn syrup. High fructose corn syrup, which is more sugar, and corn syrup, those two things. So, for your kids, you want to find a ketchup that has the least amount of sugar and the less harmful sugar.
Okay.
So there is one here, it's called the Wild Organic,
Okay.
and all it has is sugar, and it has 4 grams of sugar as compared to this one, which has 15 grams of sugar.
That's a big difference.
Yeah. So, see, they have the Heinz Organic. So this is better. Organic, yeah. There's no high fructose corn syrup, so that would be okay. Or find a ketchup that's flavored with agave nectar. That's what I use for my kids. All 10 of them. No, I don't have 10 kids. But I want to show you mustard. Most mustards are good. They have no sugar, and it's actually a good thing to put on your products that you have. Okay, so we can do that.
All right.
Okay, so we're back at the dressing.
Yeah, so I love to eat salads because I'm trying to eat better. But I was also told that 1 tablespoon of the wrong salad dressing can ruin the whole thing for you.
Unfortunately, salad is okay, but the dressing will kill you, right?
Okay.
So the problem with salad dressing is that most salad dressing has high fructose corn syrup. Again, we're dealing with high fructose corn syrup. So what we want to do is we want to use like the Newman's Own that has no MSG or high fructose corn syrup. So I use the Ranch Newman's Own. That's really good. And they also have, even the organic salad dressing, there's no synthetic artificial sugars or anything like that. We're looking at MSG and we're looking at high fructose corn syrup. But if we look over here, I also use the Annie's Natural Cow Ranch dressing, which is good because it has no high fructose corn syrup, and it's actually very, very good for salads.
What about the spritzers?
High fructose corn syrup.
Wow. Again,
So,
good marketing.
yeah, so just if it usually says organic, it's usually without the high fructose corn syrup, and it's fairly good. So definitely do the organic and things that don't have modified food starch, MSG, or high fructose corn syrup.
Okay.
Okay?
So, some other things that my children really like are applesauce and peaches. And in regards to what we've been talking about corn syrup, I have the feeling that most of the canned peaches have corn syrup in it. So what's a good alternative for that?
Right. Let's look at the canned fruits. Corn syrup. Okay, so we're not going to do that.
Okay.
Maybe if it has water in there, but this has sugar. I don't know why they put sugar in fruit. This would be the only acceptable canned fruit, which would be the pineapple slices in its own juice. So do that one.
So that's the key, is look for one that says that it's in its own juice.
Correct.
Okay.
Or with water, which I don't know if you're going to find any. If it says light syrup, avoid anything with syrup because I'm just trying to prevent diabetes.
Okay. All right.
Okay?
So what about cereals? This one here seems like it's pretty good. It says 57% fiber.
Yeah, fiber, right? Fiber.
Yeah.
So we got fiber 1,
Uh-huh.
and we have corn bran. We have corn starch, wheat bran. If you want to get your fiber, get it from vegetables, not from the grains. Unless you do a pure bran, which it's hard to find just pure bran. Who's going to want to eat pure bran?
Okay.
So even in these other cereals, now this is what I give my kids. I'm just kidding. This is Reese's Puff. When I was a kid, I used to buy pure sugar, and I would want to go shopping with my mother to get all these good things to get the prize, and I don't see they have
So
prizes
there's no
anymore.
nutritional value in that at all.
It's not only no nutritional value, but it's synthetic vitamins. It's a lot of bad things that will kill you slowly. So don't recommend it.
Okay.
But that's why I'm doing this video, is because I got really sick myself. But it's from all the cereals I eat.
Oh, wow.
So let's take a look at some alternative cereals. Let's go down over here.
Okay.
I just want to make one note. Don't consume the puff ones. It releases a chemical called a lectin, which has been known to kill rats.
Oh.
So we don't want to have the pup cereal. Now, out of all the cereals, oatmeal will be the less damaging. However, we want to find a slow cooking oatmeal, which is called steel cut. So this is an unrefined oatmeal, which is actually okay for a lot of kids. The problem is it takes time to cook.
Oh, okay.
This is a minute. This might be 15 minutes. So unfortunately, you have to balance out. Let's see. Damage the child's brain, get a healthy child, spend more 15 minutes. But anyway, we recommend the unrefined oatmeal. Oatmeal actually, believe it or not, they can make a claim now that reduces cholesterol because it has a certain thing in it that actually helps bind with the cholesterol. But if you eat healthy, you're not going to have to be dependent on oatmeal. Oatmeal is okay in small amounts here and there, but this would be the least damaging of all the cereals. If you're going to have kids and you're going to sweeten it, do the agave nectar. Don't use anything else but that.
Okay.
Okay?
I was just going to ask, how about these oatmeal to-go bars? Are those any good?
Oatmeal to-go bars. Let's see what it has. High fructose corn syrup.
Okay. So coffee. Most people wake up in the morning and need a cup of coffee to drink. So what would be a good alternative for coffee?
As they're transitioning off coffee at a gradient, we at least want to have a higher, better quality. So, because coffee, if it's not organic, is sprayed with a lot of chemicals. So, like the organic one's pretty good. That has the least amount of chemicals. So that's what I'd recommend if you're going to do coffee. Do it, and also don't buy it already ground. Grind it yourself.
Okay. What's the reason for that?
Because when you grind coffee, you destroy a lot of the properties in coffee.
Okay.
So it's fresher, it's less rancid. Not that you're going to get any vitamins from coffee, but when you grind it yourself, it's a little bit better.
Okay, so that takes out the whole instant coffee. I mean, you need to have it.
Instant coffee is not good. Again, it's more processed. There's no shelf life.
All right. So cheese. Let me know about cheese. So this is the one I usually get. It's already pre-sliced, convenient. Any suggestions on that?
Yeah, put it back.
Okay, we can do that.
The best cheese, and you can get this anywhere, is the Organic Valley raw milk cheese. Raw milk cheese. That means they don't cook it. There's more nutrition in raw milk cheese, and also organic because of the growth hormones and the pesticides that are in commercial cheese. So they have raw milk cheese right here, and they have mozzarella raw milk cheese. This is not raw milk cheese. This is organic cheese. So if you're going to do cheese, you're going to do meats, make sure they're organic. Make sure they're not processed because all the growth hormones are in there at higher amounts, especially in the milk, especially in the concentrated milk, which is cheese and yogurt. So make sure if you're doing yogurt, milk, cheese, that it's always organic.
Okay, will do. Thanks.
Okay.
So yogurt. Many women use that throughout the day as a quick snack to eat. So I think I'm going to have some good stuff here. So this one, Yo Plus, help good with our digestion, yeah?
Yeah, because it has acidophilus, but the problem is that it has high fructose corn syrup and a modified cornstarch, which is MSG, monosodium glutamate again. So let's see.
How about this one here? Light Fit 0 Plus.
Modified food starch. High fructose corn syrup. So one thing with yogurts, you want to make sure that you don't get a one that's flavored. Make sure it's plain. Make sure it's organic. Because when you do flavored yogurts, you have a lot of sugar that's hidden. So plain yogurt and add applesauce or add some fruit or bananas. Don't have the regular yogurts because it has so much sugar in it.
Okay. So talking about water, there's several different types, and which one's the best one for us to get?
Tap water would be, no, I'm just kidding. What we want to do, there's several different types of water. We look at, we have distilled water. Distilled water pulls out all the vitamins the minerals from your body. So I don't recommend distilled water.
All right.
Have spring water. The Deer Park water is good, and you also have filtered water, which is good. So filtered water is good from your house. Spring water. Stay away from tap water unless it's well water and you're in some place where you have good well water. But distilled water is not actually very good.
Okay.
The Fuji is probably one of the better ones as well, Fuji water. And there's another one called Trinity, which I don't think you can buy anymore. That's from Idaho. But when I was growing up in Wisconsin, we had the most delicious well water. It has a lot of calcium. So water with minerals, spring is actually what you need to focus on.
All right, that's good. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Okay. So how about eggs? Which would be a good egg to have?
So typically eggs are made from chickens. And chickens, they do is they use hormones on these chickens to produce more eggs. Hormones get in your body and they create problems. So instead of having the commercial eggs, I recommend that you do the organic eggs. Now there's several little parts to an organic egg. That means without pesticides and hormones. However, you want to make sure it says range free, not free range. It says free range, which means they let the chickens out of the cage once in a while. Organic means without pesticides and without antibiotics. So just because it says organic doesn't always mean that it has these other factors. So you want free range, without antibiotics, without growth hormones, and organic. That would be the ideal.
Okay.
But
aren't they usually very expensive?
yeah, this is about $4.50 for 12 eggs. So how long would this last?
In our household, probably a week.
A week. So $4, that's not too bad, a couple eggs. It's still cheap compared to anything else.
Okay.
So you'd rather pay now or pay later in your health. It's very expensive to be unhealthy and have hormone problems and have health problems. So it's a lot cheaper to prevent. And there's also, I'm going to be releasing a way to get organic wholesale foods, so wholesale organic foods. So
wow, that sounds very interesting.
yeah, it's going to save a lot of people a lot of money. So anyway, organic eggs, organic milk. So now we're going to talk about bread. You want to know about bread, right?
Absolutely.
So there's a sprouted bread. So when you take grain and you sprout it, it releases a lot more nutrition. The problem is sprouted bread has a lower shelf life. So that means it has to be refrigerated. So you can find in most any grocery store a brand name called Ezekiel. So let's take a look at that.
All right.
So this is Ezekiel bread, and this is a sprouted bread. This is a very healthy bread, and I'd give your kids this bread because it's frozen. So that means it goes bad real quick. So keep it frozen, and then you actually take it out, put it in the refrigerator, and eat it within a short period of time. The other bread you can let sit on the shelf for many, many years, especially Wonder Bread.
Okay.
Wonder Bread's good for picking up glass on the floor if you break some glass. But Ezekiel bread would be the best bread to consume.
Okay. Thanks. So in trying to eat healthy, I was moving more towards the product here that's made out of vegetarian, but also has a lot of soy in it. So is that a good alternative?
Yes, soy is a very cheap protein, so you want to stay away from anything that's called soy protein isolates because it's been known to increase tumor growth in a lot of studies. In fact, it'll increase your tumor growth by 48% in certain studies. So let me show you where you get these foods.
Okay.
It's in all the vegetarian patties, like Morningstar, which has soy protein isolates, textured vegetable protein, gluten, it has MSG, corn syrup, not good. It's also soy protein isolates is in a lot of the soy powders, but it's in the vegetarian patties. So this is sold as a health food, but a lot of people that have liver problems, I've noticed personally, they're doing too much soy. And soy milk in general has more estrogen. One glass of soy milk is equivalent to one birth control pill. So I'm actually not excited about soy milk.
Okay, well, that's good to know. It didn't taste that good anyway, so good to know I don't have to eat it.
That's right.
So tell me about frozen fruits. Are those good?
Those are actually okay. They're okay, but make sure they're organic.
Okay.
So you could actually get the frozen blueberries. which are very good, or the frozen blackberries, which are really good as well.
And I will say, when they're frozen, it's a nice little snack to have, and I know that my kids seem to enjoy it, so that's pretty good.
Yeah, put them in plain yogurt, put them in shakes, and then flavor with a banana or a peach or a pear.
Okay. So what do you mean when you say flavor with a banana or peach? Just mix that in there?
Mix it in there to sweeten it.
Oh, okay, good idea. So, with me going back to my whole 20 minutes, here's a meal that's already pre-done and I just heat it up. So, what do you think about this one?
Well, let's take a look. Modified food starch. Modified food starch.
Yeah, that doesn't look good.
No, this is going to cause weight gain because it's a fluid retainer. So we're trying to get rid of the excess fluid. We don't want to dehydrate you and cause more problems. But you can go ahead and eat this. If you start twitching or projectile vomiting, give me a call.
Okay.
And we'll go from there.
All right.
Okay?
So, with all of this said, I'm getting a little concerned. What can I eat?
If I knew that, would I be? No.
Okay.
I'm going to show you.
All right, good.
Yeah. So we're at the chip section, and Doritos. I used to consume lots and lots of Doritos. Modified food starch, again, it's a flavor enhancer, makes the food taste better than it is, but it's actually not very good for sodium. Let's go over here. Regular potato chips, it's just potatoes in corn oil. This would be better than it had modified food starch, so this would be a step up, but it's a lot of sodium. Smart food, we're coming up. It's less chemicals, less sugar, better quality oil. So if you had a choice between this one and this one right here, do this one. But again, I'm just telling you the least of all evils because this says the hydrogenated oils, monosodium glutamate, and high fructose corn syrup.
Shop a treat at Shoppers Fresh Fruit and Salad Bar for just $4.59 a pound.
Now we're stepping up with the organic chip, organic corn chip, which should be in sea salt. So this would be a lot better than the last one you saw. And now we have sea salt potato chips. Now we're getting sunflower oil, sea salt, and potatoes. This would be the best out of all the things that I showed you so far. Stay away from olestra. That's another thing that's very, very bad. Let's see what we got here. High fructose corn syrup.
Sharab, come to self-check, please. Sharab, come to self-check, please.
You can't find any other chips here, so basically, I typically like the cheese puffs. No, I'm just kidding. But you want to do a chip. You don't want to do it, but if you're going to do any chip at a party, make sure it has just sea salt and chip and oil, not all the extra stuff. So I'm going to show you the soup right here. A lot of people like soup, but the problem is when you look at the soup, we have let's see, we got nitrates, sodium nitrates. Nitrates are things that cause problems in your body, and I won't mention any disease names, but I also want to mention this right here. It says, what does it say?
Monosodium.
Glutamate.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, that's MSG again.
Oh.
What's going to happen? You're going to get really thirsty, and you're going to drink a lot of water because they tell you to drink more water, and you're going to get really bloated. Do you know anyone that gets bloated?
Yes, I do.
Like friends and down. So this would be not good. Find one without the MSG. I did already find one for you.
Oh, good.
Select Harvest just has vegetables and some sea salt. So this would be good. And they have organic soups too. And that goes the same with like canned beans. Make sure it's organic kidney beans because that way it has less chemicals.
Okay.
So let's talk about some foods that you can eat. Now, we're talking about the sodium-potassium ratio. You need a lot more potassium than you do sodium, 4-to-1. 4 times as much potassium as sodium. It just so happens vegetables have that. Try to get the organic greens. I like the baby greens are really good. Vegetables right here. I mean, this could be one. This is about, I'd say this is about 5 cups. You need 2 of these a day. If you're just eating salad, you eat 2 of these a day to reach your minimum amount of potassium.
Oh, wow.
So
Okay.
when I eat huge salads. I have 2, one for breakfast and one for lunch.
You eat one for breakfast?
I'm sorry, one for lunch, one for supper.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So now we're talking about hydroponic. Hydroponic is basically grown in water and minerals. So you're going to be seeing a lot more hydroponic coming up very soon because you can grow these without pesticides. They're always organic because there's no bugs. It's indoor. I actually grow hydroponic in my basement in my spare time. But you can grow it in rocks and minerals. It's amazing how you can grow healthy foods hydroponically. So we have that, and then we have celery. Celery is really good before you go to bed at night because it calms you down for stress. Obviously, iceberg lettuce has less minerals than other lettuces, so I would recommend a higher quality salad vegetable. The cranberries. Cranberries are really good as a drink because it's good for the kidney. Carrots have a tremendous amount of vitamin A. So carrots, one of these little carrots has 3,000 international units of vitamin A. So this is your daily requirement of vitamin A if you eat just one of these little guys right here. So carrots are very good for vitamin A. It helps you see in the dark.
Okay.
Okay? We're going to talk about taking your nutrition to the next level, and you have various levels of nutrients. So we're trying to eat food. In order to be qualified as food, it has to have nutrition. So that means, based on that, the more nutrition it has, the more it's considered food. The more nutrition you have, the more weight you're going to lose because you're going to feed your body what it's designed to have. So let's take a look at this stuff here. Now, I understand that this doesn't look too appetizing, but this is kale, and I do eat a lot of kale. When you chop it up real small, there's a lot of nutrition, ungodly amounts of nutrition in this kale right here. So you can put it in your salad, chop it up really small, and chew it a lot, and then mix it with other salads. You can also cut the stems out and then blend this with a banana with some water and some ice and have a great shake. You can also put a peach with kale. We also have over here, we have greens. People steam them. I like to have them a little raw. It's Swiss chard, which is right here. It's very, very good stuff. You have red chard, regular chard right here.
So
And
what do you use chard with?
chard, you chop it off and you have to put walnuts, apple, and ranch dressing, and it's a great salad. Beets are really good for the gallbladder and the liver. It also decreases harmful estrogens in the body. And if you definitely eat the tops of the leaves, this is very good in salads for gallstones.
That's great.
So I want to talk about this right here. Organic baby romaine lettuce, very good for a salad. I would suggest eating this whole thing with one salad. You don't even need a bowl. Just put the dressing on it, eat it. It's very healthy. This is what I do for lunch. You have herb greens. Arugula is very, very tasty. And then baby spinach. Baby spinach, if you have every day, tends to leave that texture in your mouth. So switch it up, rotate them. You can cut an apple and eat that. And then if you really, for dinner, you can steam some of these vegetables. Take kale, put a little onion and garlic and steam it. Put a little kidney beans on top of it and maybe some tuna. That would be very good. If you're going to eat tuna, make sure it's light tuna. That has less mercury. Shark and swordfish have a lot of mercury. So now, out of all the starches, the red potato would be the best. And red potato is very, very high in vitamin C. So if you want, now the only problem is that you do tend to gain a little weight with this, but it's a healthier thing than grains. So for kids, for example, if you want to feed them starch, do the red potatoes, and you can shave them, you can cook them in safflower oil, but if you want to, you can cook hash browns, mashed potatoes, but eat them right away because you lose a lot of vitamin C very, very quick. So red potatoes are way better than these potatoes right here because the skin is red, and red has more copper, which is part of the vitamin C complex. So red potatoes are good. If you have too many, you might gain some weight.
I have a question about deli meats that are prepackaged. Often we'll buy these just to be able to make a quick sandwich. So any suggestions here?
Yeah, so the deli meats have modified food starch, sugar, dextrose, which is a filler. So they put sugar in there, high fructose corn syrup, and they put carrageen, which is modified food starch, and sodium nitrates, which cause some problems in animal studies. The thing is, they just make the food taste better than it really is, but you just want turkey, just plain turkey that's organic.
Okay.
It doesn't really matter if it's turkey or beef or chicken. Make sure it's organic, free range, without all these extra additives, because the reason why they put them is to preserve it, and also they put them in there to, you can sell more because you're going to grow more product, more turkey.
So if it's not fresh, oftentimes there's ingredients in there that help give it a longer shelf life.
Yeah, more shelf life, that's what we're trying to go for, unfortunately. But yeah, you want to have meats that don't have any sugar in them, because when you eat meats with sugar, it creates a lot of problems with digestion and other things. But they put the sugar in there, especially dextrose, to increase weight so they can sell more of it. That's the only reason. It's a cheap filler.
Wow. Okay.
So I know you're asking, what can you eat? As you start demanding more organic foods, the stores will start carrying more organic foods. In fact, they're already starting. Remember in college when you ate Hormel chili?
Yeah.
Okay. Hormel now has a natural choice brand which has no nitrates, no artificial ingredients, minimally processed, no MSG, raised without added hormones.
Wow.
So these would be acceptable. So this would be good.
Okay.
Okay?
All right.